play-in game. The Kings live on to face the Pelicans on Friday for a chance to get into the playoffs, coming off their largest win over the Warriors since 2006. And now the questions really start to come for Golden State, whose window just may be closed. And to help us make sense of this night in the NBA, we welcome in from CBS Sports and the Beyond the Arc podcast, Bill Ryder and John Gonzalez. Guys, what a game in the opener. LeBron had 23, 9, and 9. Zion had 40 and 11 in his first postseason game, but then he had to leave early with an injury while the game was still very much in doubt late. We'll get to Zion in a second, but the Lakers advancing with a 4-point win. They earned the 7th seed, and they're going to take on the defending champs. Bill, a season ago, this is like deja vu. The Lakers had a tight overtime win, actually, in their play-in game, and then they made it all the way to the conference finals. How much confidence do you have that they can pull that off again facing the Nuggets now in the first round?
Well, way to go, Lakers. What a victory. Got some help from that Zion injury. Very little confidence. Look, you just noted, we just saw the Kings beat the Warriors. Anything can happen, but that's more likely when you're talking a one-game play-in reality. This is a 7-game series against the best team in the NBA. The Vegas odds basically put the Nuggets at 80% favorites to win this series, and for good reason. The Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference. I think they might be the best team in the NBA. I know the Celtics would have something to say about that. So great accomplishment by the Lakers. Good win. Held off a hard-charging Pelicans team, but they're not in the same class as the Nuggets, and they're going to need a whole lot of LeBron excellence and AD excellence and other guys stepping up and making shots again and again and again to be in that series at all.
Yeah, not just AD excellence and not just LeBron excellence, but those other guys. D'Angelo Russell was really good in that Pelicans game. They're going to need him to go supernova. They're going to need Austin Reeves out there. You're going to need some Rui Hachimura minutes. I mean, it's not a 0% chance. It's a non-0% chance. It's a very slight chance, as Bill alluded to. Vegas has Denver as the heavy favorites. I think the opener was like minus 320 or something to win the series. So everybody pretty much expects the Denver Nuggets to win the series. And there's a reason for it. They're defending champs. They've got home court advantage. They've got the previous and now future MVP, about to be MVP for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. Jamal Murray just had probably his best regular season as a pro. That 2-man game is awesome. Aaron Gordon is underrated as a defender. KCP is getting some love potentially for all defense. It's a really, really good team. I'm not going to say that the Lakers have no shot, but I do think that we're kind of headed towards a repeat of last season when the Lakers went away with a moral victory, and afterwards LeBron said, man, that was the closest 4-game sweep in history. And I guess, pat yourself on the back, but that might be all you get.
Hey, look, the Lakers are moving on. The Pelicans still have a chance. The 8th seed's still up for grabs. They'll play at home against the Sacramento Kings on Friday, who didn't just beat the Golden State Warriors. They beat them by 24. There's a lot to get into here. Let's start with that winner gets into the playoffs, loser goes home game on Friday between the Kings and the Pelicans. How concerning is the left hamstring injury that took Zion out of the game against the Lakers late? And who do you like in that one, John?
Yeah, it's obviously concerning because the Pelicans have been waiting Zion Williamson's entire career for a game like he had tonight. Zion's been waiting for it his entire career, right? He went for 40 points, season high. He almost had a season high in rebounds. He had the team on his back, but almost everybody else was a no-show. They needed every bit of Zion tonight, and who knows what would have happened if he had been able to finish out the game. So, yeah, it's concerning. Now, he did end up leaving the arena on his own power. He's going to get imaging on his left leg tomorrow. They seemed somewhat hopeful and optimistic, but I also believe that, despite the fact that the Kings won this game going away against the Warriors, beat them by 24 points, if you're the Pelicans and you got a home game, you've lost 6 games in a row on your home floor, you have either the choice of facing the Kings or the Warriors with a win or go home scenario. I think you'd rather face the Kings. Kings were really good. They had a good game from De'Aaron Fox. They had a good game from Domantas Sabonis. They had an amazing game for Keegan Murray. But if I'm the Pelicans and you can get Zion healthy and back for this game on Friday, I like my chances in that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can do all the analysis we want, and John is right. You take the Kings over the Warriors despite what we just saw. But if there's no Zion, let me quote my good friend John Gonzalez. It's not a 0% chance, but my goodness, it sure feels like it. And we don't know the status of where he's at or what the tests are going to show tomorrow. But it's worth noting, just repeating. I know we've talked about this. They were in that game. The Pelicans were in that game. Zion was having a career game, the most important game of his career in a career year, and he wasn't able to finish that fourth quarter. That obviously does not bode well. So, yes, the Kings are the team you want to play. Everybody is good that remain in the play of the playoffs, other than maybe the Bulls or the Hawks. But everybody else is good, including, by the way, the Kings and the Warriors, despite the way that they played. So if the Pelicans have Zion, John's right. It's a great situation. They're at home. They don't have to travel. But if you don't have Zion, and that's obviously a huge question mark and a very real possibility on Friday, congratulations, Sacramento Kings. At a minimum, you just became the big favorites when it probably is the other way around if Zion's playing.
Look, and what the Sacramento Kings were able to do to the Golden State Warriors, quite frankly, was shocking. 24 points. And just look, Steph Curry had 5 points in the first half. Klay Thompson had none. They both bounced back to score some in the second half, but to lose by 24. Bill, is this the last we've seen of one of the great long-term success runs that we've seen in recent memory in the NBA?
All right, everyone is going to say yes. And tomorrow on the Beyond the Arc podcast, I think my colleagues are going to say yes, and I'm probably going to say yes. But let me just slightly hold on to that just kernel of hope that is out there. Because this is if you put together in a laboratory how you win a one-game play-in matchup against the Warriors, it's Steph Curry doesn't play well in the first half, and Klay Thompson forgets how to shoot. And Keon Ellis, who? Keon Ellis it's the Keon Ellis game. He had 13 points or whatever it was, but still. And Keegan Murray says it's not just Caitlin Clark, who came out of Iowa. He has a remarkable game. I mean, everything that Warriors team abdicated any connection to not just the previous championship teams that we've seen, but the team we saw this year. That was so. It was as bad a performance as you could hope for. And, by the way, the Kings, I know they do this. They're high-powered in terms of their offense. They made almost half their threes. They hit 46% and change of their three-point shots. So, yes, the Warriors, it is dire right now. They have a difficult decision to make about Klay Thompson. And I just don't want to overreact too much. I want to process it because the Kings played extraordinary basketball. Everybody on that team played well. Guys that aren't supposed to step up, stepped up. And you're right, Russ. And John and I and the rest of the crew on Beyond the Arc were texting throughout the game. No Klay Thompson, no Steph for half the game. Draymond Green, uncharacteristically sloppy. There was a key play where they were trying to push back where he just stepped out of bounds for no reason. This was a terrible game for the Warriors, and so while their future is in doubt, I also think it's one game where everything went right for the Kings and everything went wrong for the Warriors.
Yeah, it was an absolute disaster for the Warriors tonight. They couldn't have played worse. I mean, Steph was below average. Draymond and Kuminga were fine. Everybody else was pretty much awful. You got nothing from Chris Paul. Wiggins was probably the worst player on the floor tonight, and that says something because Klay Thompson, you got exactly nothing from him. He didn't hit a single shot. It was the worst possible time for early season Klay to come into play. But yeah, I think that this is the end for this version of the Warriors. I was there for the earlier end of the Warriors dynasty. I was there in 2019 when the Raptors beat them on their floor and KD got hurt and Klay got hurt and everybody said, oh, well, this is the end of that. And then they came back and they won another championship. And that was the bonus. They were in the bonus on that one. This time I really do believe that this is probably it for this iteration. Who knows if they bring Klay back, but he doesn't look like the Klay Thompson that we've known and loved for so long. And it's a shame because, they had a good long run. I didn't expect them to have it end at the hands of the Sacramento Kings and Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis and go down. Yes, it was only one game, but you got blown out in this game. You lose by 24. That is a